Hi guys, and welcome back to Honey, We're Home. I am Caroline Crawford Patterson.
And I'm Nicole Pellegrino.
And we are super excited to catch up. We are doing an episode all about family trips, and we're starting by Nikki giving us some of her updates since we've last caught up, because she just got back from a huge family trip.
No, I'm feeling unhinged per
Be
usual.
unhinged.
I have a little bit of a tan. I was in Florida. It was raining a lot there, which was really annoying because I guess other people grow out of this, but I haven't yet. I still prioritize a tan above all. Like when I'm on a trip, I'm like a fiend for the sun. And
Yeah.
I'm like, you would think I'm like a farmer with an almanac. I'm like, what is the UV today and when is it getting nice? And then I like ditch everything. Like you could offer me tickets to the Oscars and I would say no because the sun is out and I need to be in it to get a tan. I'm really weird like that. Like my one friend was telling me she's like grown out of that, and ever since that, like her life has gotten better. Like she doesn't care about getting a tan.
So this is a big thing.
Yeah. Do you not do that?
I mean, I have red hair, so like me going out in the sun is like absolute joy for me as long as I have SPF 75 or over on. So
well, you're gonna look like you're 30 when you're 60, so congrats.
No,
okay?
I'm not, because I've had skin poisoning like 8 times.
Okay.
But I think it's a thing. I guess I don't know, because I am like going out in the sun trying to protect my skin, but also am prioritizing being out in the sun. So I'm just like, put it together for me how like being out in the sun with like the tanning makes your life worse.
No, it makes my life better.
Well, for you, but your friend that says now that she doesn't do that.
Oh, she was just saying, no, she just doesn't stress over getting a tan, and her mental health has gotten better. Like, she's like, I just don't, this was my old coworker. So, hi, Tess. She was like, I just don't stress. I remember talking about this with her, and she was like, I just don't stress over getting a tan anymore. And like, mental space has freed up. And I was like, that's the good way to think about it. However, I stress over getting a tan. And I didn't really get the best one because it was raining constantly in Florida.
Right.
But other than that.
But that would upset everybody, I feel like, because I'm not prioritizing the tan, but I'm certainly prioritizing
fun
being
in
outside.
The sun. Right.
Like, I don't want to go on any vacation and be predominantly inside.
Well, there were 2 full days of this Florida vacation. So for context, I went down Saturday. I stayed with Brooke, my best friend who lives there, helped her with her baby, had some fun, whatever, hung out, girl time. And then Wednesday is when my family all flew to Florida. We all met in Hollywood Beach and then stayed until Sunday. Mike and I stayed until Monday.
Right.
Yeah, that's for context. What was the question? Where was I going?
You guys spent 2 full days inside.
Oh, that's right. Oh, wow. Good listener. Good listener. It rained. The weather was shit the weekend, the latter half of the week. So there were 2 full days where we had planned fun in the sun. We had 3 nephews with us, 4, 2, and 1 ages. And we just had to like find things to do in Fort Lauderdale. It was not only raining, it was like monsooning.
You a swim in the rain type of person if you can?
Yeah, I mean, sure. But this was like, can't. Like, they closed the pool. Oh, we stayed at Margaritaville.
Right.
Which I felt like you should have been there with us.
I might have had fun.
No, you would have. You guys, this, again, we've like honestly asked Margaritaville to sponsor us.
They have a lazy river?
They're like, we don't sponsor
No,
podcasts.
yeah. No, but honestly,
They need to.
Margaritaville, we're not giving up.
No, like, honestly, Margaritaville.
Yeah, honestly,
F
Margaritaville.
if you don't sponsor us.
Listen, and we have Margaritaville shirts we're waiting to wear on this podcast, and our husbands don't listen to this, so
Yeah, no.
they're never gonna know this. But you guys will know this one day when we show up in Margaritaville shirts. We planned it for months. So
Can we all together manifest? I know you bitches listening. Some of you are, sorry, I just called our listeners bitches, but whatever. Some of you are really good manifestors. So can you harness your witch-like powers for us right now to manifest just like a really good partnership with Margaritaville?
I mean, nothing would make me happier. So here's the thing. Does it have a lazy river? That one?
No, but there were a lot of things. Okay, so this was the
I just
Hollywood
want
Beach
to go.
Resort.
I love playtime.
You would have loved the Flow Rider machine. That thing.
Oh, that?
It's like a wave machine. The waves splurt out at you at 30 miles per hour or whatever the fuck. And you surf on it. I think I broke my neck. My fall, I'll post a slow-mo on Honey We're Home. I really will actually do this. I'll hold myself to it.
You definitely didn't break your neck.
I will post a slow-mo video of the fall. My neck, like,
is it stuck still, though?
Side. Yeah, I mean, I was sore the next day.
Yeah.
I ate shit on that thing. My 4-year-old nephew got up on it, didn't
I saw
fall.
the videos. I saw the videos.
Yeah.
That's great.
So they had that. They just were really great for kids. The thing I liked about the resort, this isn't an ad for them, but I really did like it.
So
the thing I liked about it was really great for the kids. They had a water slide. They had all the kid things. But then they also had so much alcohol for the adults. And I know I said I wasn't drinking, but I did.
I know. You did say that. And
sorry,
you
everybody.
do it.
I had to. I was with my family.
It's vacation. Even on the episode where you said that, and then I was like, no rules on vacation.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's just sort of like, if that's the vibe that you're in, don't beat yourself up over it.
Exactly.
What's the point?
Well, and that's the thing. Like, I'm still going to do my, like, sober, curious lifestyle up here. Like, not drink like a fish like I normally do. But on vacation, I had to. I was at Margaritaville.
I just think, young or old, in Florida and New York, wherever you are at a Margaritaville, you're going to have a good time.
Right. Exactly. We love it. So, no, I mean, all in all, my family is so freaking fun. We could have fun, rain or shine. We really did. We did, like, a museum. We just, like, walked around and stuff. While it was raining, we just had a lot of fun. It was great to see my siblings. It really was the worst time of year to go to that part of Florida because it was also Ultra Music Festival.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
So how did that affect you guys?
It was so crowded, and Margaritaville was truly our only choice of where to stay because
you guys did say that everything was booked.
Everything was booked, and we planned so last minute because we suck, and it was just so traffic, crowded craziness. So that's why we did like North instead of South Beach.
Do you and Mike like music festivals?
No.
Okay, so it's not like you would have gone even if there weren't kids.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I don't dislike them, but Mike and I would go with a group of people to like Ultra if one of our friends planned it. But like out of all the things we want to do, planning a trip for just us two to Ultra isn't our priority.
God, no.
Yeah.
I would go. Like, panic attacks.
If you and John were like, we really want to go to Ultra, we'd be down.
Yeah. I would definitely be the person to recommend that. And then John would be like, no, we're not doing that because I am a buzzkill because I like start having anxiety attacks in crowds.
Oh, yeah.
And so whenever, like John and I, when we went to Gov Ball last year, it was his birthday present for my mom. I like ruined the whole thing. I was like, I have to leave. Like, I can't, like, I'm claustrophobic.
Yeah, no.
I'm having an anxiety attack. I like can't breathe. It was in the middle of Kendrick Lamar. John's like waiting for his favorite song. I'm like, if I don't get out of here, I will pass out. And I thought I had told him that I get like that prior to. And I'm like, we've been together for almost 10 years. You should know this.
Yeah.
And afterwards, he just was like, this would have been really good information to know before booking a music festival.
There's certain things that I know this podcast is all about like us never being too old to do anything. I get that. But at the same time, there's certain things I think I'm a little bit too old for. And like
John's not going to put me on his shoulders. So unless you're going to do that,
right,
I can't do it. I'm happy being the girl on the picnic blanket in the back.
Right. I could do a jazz festival.
Oh, yeah. That's so different because that's kind of like a tennis tournament, like for music, because everyone's just like walking around with their like nice little drinks and they're like, there's like good food and it's just
space.
I don't know why that makes sense to me, but it makes sense to me.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. Somebody wrote in actually about how they're frustrated because their families have to like compromise for somebody in the family is a doctor. One of the listeners wrote in about on dates, and that's why we had to do that date. I think that's like an important note with family trips. You just have to compromise a lot.
You do, and I think that's like honestly a good note on that to just normalize it. Is like there will always be somebody that you have to compromise around.
Yeah,
and do not get frustrated about it because one day it might be you someday, and it might be you now. But like in our family right now, it's John. And he hates it, but John just has the most aggressive work schedule out of all of us. And it's not just him, but I have two sisters in college. So it's like we're working on summer breaks and other breaks, etc. But like when it comes to a family vacation that happens like during the summer, he has the most aggressive work schedule and he hates it, and he doesn't like when we reference that like we're working around his schedule.
Well, so good question. Okay, this brings up a topic, not to make John's work schedule about me, but well, okay, so that's the reason we had to do this specific week, because my brother and sister-in-law are doctors and they have 1 week off in every 5 years. But so we're more flexible. Mike, too, has an aggressive work schedule. And this was actually like, I was mad at first, but then I quickly got over it. So Mike, if a lot of you noticed, I got some questions like, what's going on with you and Mike? Why is he not on the family trip?
Seriously?
This always happens whenever I do I leave Mike. People are just like, why? Where's Mike? Where's Prop?
So people just like wait for negativity.
I know, right? But whatever. They're curious. I mean, I would be wondering too, like, why am I on a family trip with everyone's significant
I've never
others?
once gotten that question, and I went to Charleston for weeks last year without John.
Yeah, but it's different if your sisters all had their significant others there too.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I guess.
Like my brother-in-law and sister-in-law were there, the kids, everybody. So, okay, so Mike came down that Friday. And now he's gone in LA. I'm like, what's my turn on of the week?
Like his work schedule kind of turned on its head.
His work schedule is crazy this month because of March Madness and sports. But he had this very important thing that he had to do. And I guess his coworkers and boss and people were like, listen, any other week you'd be able to like work remote or just take off and go to Florida, but like we really would love and appreciate if you would really try to be here this Thursday. I was a little annoyed at first because I was like, ugh, like out of all, like he usually has more flexibility, and I was like, this is my one big family trip.
It's really hard not to be annoyed.
Is. Yeah, but then I was like, listen, I would expect him to be lenient with me if I ever had a big thing that I couldn't really miss and had to miss some of his family trip for. So, and he did like, as soon as he could come down, he did.
There's like a balance there, and I was talking about this with my friend the other day, and I didn't realize, but it does like tie into the trip thing as well, because it's about how present your partner needs to be with your family functions, and like where to give grace and then where to communicate, okay, I know you're super busy, but it's important to me that you show up to this, or it's important to me that you're present for this. And it's less about you having to have that conversation and more about how they respond to the conversation. So like John's work schedule will get really busy, and he'll say like, we're going to Paris for our family trip this year. And he will be stressed out trying to like work out his PTO, like to make sure that he can go. It's a longer trip, but he's not taking his 2 weeks. Or we'll be home for Christmas, and it's like he's upstairs working, and like he took the whole week off, but all of a sudden now he can't take the week off. It's like he's working through his like time off, and he has no control over it. So I know that he's frustrated, but I at the same time am also like, you're not being present for family events. And so then I have to like strike a balance of like, where do I know he has no control over it, but then also where am I going to say it would like, this is important, like you've got to show up and be present so that people know that you like want to be here,
right?
And then how do they take that? Like John 10 out of 10 times, and like Mike too, will be like, no, you know what, you're right, like this is super important, I'm like letting work stress me out too much. The second that I'm there, I'm going to be 100% present.
Yeah.
And like 100% on. Like, I'm not going to complain.
Right. Like, I would rather have Mike show up a couple days later on Friday, but be present for that shorter time than have showed up Wednesday, but have to like work remote all Wednesday and Thursday from there.
And be stressed and detached.
Yeah. Which we did get a listener write in that's her ick. That
oh, yeah, we do.
She said her husband won't unplug. He's a lawyer, but still, just for a few days at least. That's honestly so annoying, but so much more common than I think we think. I've heard that from friends that anytime they go on vacation, husband is just on the phone, can't unplug. I think it's so important to talk through that and set boundaries, not putting Mike on a fucking pedestal. Trust me, the kid has some flaws, but he really did do a good job of this. He had a call Friday. So he told me like a week prior, he was like, listen, from 1:30 to whatever, I do have 2 quick calls that I will have to step away from and take.
Yeah, he told you.
So that I knew about that. And I was like, that's fine. Like, and I like warned my family. My family obviously was like, we don't give a fuck. Tell Mike he can take whatever calls. But I think it's very important to set those boundaries prior, and like, and if your husband is doing this, tell him like, that's okay. I understand that you might have to check in with work, but like, A, let me know in advance when you can or when you're going to. And B, when you're not, honestly throw your phone in the ocean and be present, because
100%.
That is really annoying.
It is really annoying. I think that John, I was just saying this in this conversation the other day, I don't know if he always was like this, like in my mind, like he was, or maybe it's a result of him just being aware of conversations, but he switches to be present and helpful immediately. Like he knows what's important. He knows what to show up for. And the second that we get on a trip, or the second he like logs off and, you know, we're at home and we're like hosting people in an hour, he is showered, dressed, downstairs, doing everything that I've been trying to do for the past 2 hours, like almost taking over, getting it done really quickly, helping where he can, making drinks for guests, being super present. Like on a trip, like he 100% is that way. And I feel like it's super important, because I do think that it's a problem for your intimate relationship. Like,
yeah,
when you can't do that, because I think it builds a lot of resentment.
Yeah, especially the resentment comes out when you see a difference between how they are with their family's vacations versus yours.
Huge.
And if that's different, if they're very present with their own but not with yours, that needs to be nipped in the butt and addressed, because then that's just disrespect. Like that to me would be a big red flag. Huge. And I would have to say like, okay, like, but that's what I think you have to try to be equally as present for both. And if you do have to check in with work, again, that's fine, but give both families the same amount of attention. The thing with checking in with work, though, one thing I want to note, tell your husband this, play this little soundbite for him. I noticed when I used to, early on in my career, when I would go on trips, I thought it was such a cool flex. I thought I was impressing my coworkers and my bosses if I would be like, hey, I'm going to like check in with you guys, and like I'll still be on, but I'm going to be traveling. I gained so much more respect from my coworkers when I got my work done before, did a good out of office plan, and then said, now please don't contact me unless it's an emergency, because
work boundaries are huge.
Yeah.
That's a huge thing that I think that this girl probably should talk to her husband about, because I've talked to John about it before too, which is like, what are your work boundaries and what expectations are you setting at work? Because people will push any boundary that you give them, and they will go as far as you let them. So when you go into a job setting boundaries, it's not that it makes you a worse employee. It's that you're getting your stuff done and you are present at work and you are good at your job. But this has been your boundary from day one. And it's not an unusual boundary, but it's that it's always been that way. So nobody's going to test you otherwise. If you give people license to always contact you, always walk all over you from the day you start your job, they will never stop, and you cannot go backwards, because now it looks like you are losing traction from your job. You are a worse employee. You are losing focus from your job, all because now you're trying to set boundaries like in reverse.
Yeah.
But I want to take this opportunity to actually give my rec of the week so that maybe this girl can read it.
What is it?
It's this article, and the name of the article is Protecting Your Intimate Relationship from the Impact of Work Stress. And this Dr. Alexandra Solomon, wrote it. John found this, and we both read it over the weekend.
Oh, I need to read it.
It is so good. I seriously recommend everybody read it. It's broken up into 2 parts. The first part is basically, if you're the stressed partner, like here are all of the things that you can do to identify how you're dealing with stress and what you should do better. And also how to understand how your stress impacts your partner. And then the next portion is, okay, say you are the partner trying to support the stressed person.
Can we get the doctor on the pod?
No, like
Why would you
this
not?
changed the game.
This is the first time she's telling me about this.
Yeah.
Why didn't you send this to me?
I should
wanna
have sent
read
it to you immediately. Like, I read it. The thing is you
That would
can
be
read
a
it from
good
both
episode.
perspectives. So I read it
Yeah.
first, like, John's been stressed at work. So I read it first that way. I was like, he's the stress partner. I'm the supporting partner. Then I went back and read it a second time to be like, okay, now how do I read this when I'm the stress partner and he's a supporting partner? It taught me so many words about things that I was already doing that I didn't even know how to articulate that I was doing or why I was doing them, so that I can like consciously do them. And a huge one for her in this article is about closing your stress cycle, because you can never leave work if you don't close your stress cycle. And a lot of men don't even know what like baseline calmness feels like, so they don't know how to close it. Like their brain, your body can't physically move on from stress because you have no concept of how to like it's like a circuit. Your body has to end it.
Yeah.
And then your body moves on.
But the men you're saying have never even like been calm.
Right. So
like
they
I'm
don't
more
even know what it
stressed.
feels like. So sometimes when a guy's like, I'm not stressed, but you're like, you are.
Yeah.
It's because they actually don't have a baseline of what no stress feels like.
Oh, that's Mike in a nutshell. I'll be like, no, but something's off. Like you're not fully here. Like
So when a guy says they can't identify it, or they're not saying that in so many words, but when you feel like they're not identifying it, they don't know how. This article, we had a whole debrief on it from both ends. And she gives you, like, this is so cringe of me, but she gives you sentences to say. It's her website, Dr. Alexandra Solomon.
How'd you find it?
John found it and just sent it to me. And then we had a whole, like, this doctor gives you
That's really
sentences that
cute.
you can say. And, like, I was like, oh, my God.
We need to have her on the podcast.
I mean,
I'm sold.
so
I need to read it.
I feel like this might help the girl, though, because if he can't unplug, maybe he, like, can't unplug.
Yeah. I'm just laughing. I'm just laughing that this was your recommendation. No. And no, it's a good one. Because you're a fucking bitch. Honestly, you put that in. Okay, so
It's the only rec I have. Your pants are such a good rec, too.
Guys, I told Caroline before this, she gate kept her rec and just came out with that. Mine is pants.
No,
What?
I like your pants.
Are we doing rec?
High low.
Okay.
Something serious.
Do I
something
randomly
fun.
go into my
Yeah,
rec?
I guess just give us your
do I
rec
even
now.
fucking do it?
Just give us your rec.
Okay, my rec of the week was Alice and Olivia pants. I'm obsessing over Alice and Olivia these days because, don't get me wrong, yes, it's a pricier brand, okay? I'm sorry, but I'm in the mindset of like, I'm getting rid of all of my belongings. I'm going to sign up for all the apps and auction off my shit and whatnot and whatever, rent it out. But so
Are you
I'm
really
just going to
gonna do
buy.
that?
Yeah, it's on my fucking list, okay?
Okay.
Why?
I don't think you're going to do it.
I am.
Okay.
I am. I just have to get my shit together, okay? It does take time.
You have cute clothes. I just like don't know why you would give them all away.
I'm gonna rent them out.
Oh, yes.
Like we talked about.
Like we talked. I
Well,
thought you
I'm
meant
gonna
like sell
some.
them.
I am gonna do that too.
Oh, I just have such attachment anxiety to my clothes.
Yeah. When we need bigger closets.
Yeah.
My
Tell me
my closet's so small. If you saw it, you'd be like, how?
No. Your closet is
wait, yours is smaller.
I have an apartment that didn't even come with a closet.
Yours is like a wardrobe.
Yes.
It's like an
For
IKEA.
two, and we share it.
And every inch of that thing is packed.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever I go over to Caroline's apartment, I scurry straight to the closet to just stare at it and picture how A, she did it, and B, how she gets an item of clothes in and out.
No, it's very difficult.
We get called privileged and stuff. And yes, like we are, I'm like, we'll
No,
all
yeah.
admit, first to admit.
Very lucky, but yeah, my closet
Gratitude, yes. But if you guys saw Caroline's and my closet, but also mainly Caroline's, you would be like, whoa.
No, I had to, yeah, no, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Like,
you make it work somehow.
no, I make it work, but we have to have a dedicated day to put clothes away because it really takes, you are sweating at the end of it.
Yeah.
Because you were just using every ounce of momentum you have in your body to like shift the clothes over to like make room for one hanger.
Yours is like if you grab one t-shirt out, the whole
Thing's
gonna
coming. Yeah.
tumble.
If I grab a t-shirt, usually 4 come with it. So that's how that works.
But you do a good job of keeping it clean somehow.
Oh, God, no.
So my rec is the Alice and
Yeah.
Olivia pants. Here's the thing. I got 3 pairs. One I'm wearing right now. They're like, I'm really into the cargo pants trend.
Yeah.
I just think I can dress them up. I can dress them down. Wish this was sponsored. It's not. None of our recs are ever really sponsored. We'll let you know when they are. But they're not paying me. They did gift me the jean cargos. It's a long story, so I'm very grateful for that. These I purchased. But I like that you can wear them with sneakers. They're so comfy, such great quality. And
Can I feel them?
yes. But you have to put them on to really believe.
Oh, they
They're good for a rainy day.
yeah, like they're almost moisture resistant.
Yes, and I'm going to start wearing them with heels.
They
just
feel like
you wait.
Lululemon, the boys' Lululemon pants a little bit.
Yeah, except more pockets and more stylish
Yeah,
when
but
I
the
stand up.
fabric, it's like that ABC
Yes.
fabric.
But I got a pair of white cargos for like the summer. I'm going to wear them every day. I really just love Alice and Olivia pants and outfits. And they're pricey, but again, they're staple pieces. You get rid of all the shitty brands that you own, have a couple staple pieces.
Yeah, I'm good about buying nicer pants because I don't buy pants often.
Yeah. Like how many pairs of white pants do you need?
No,
One or
like
two,
one.
good
Yeah.
quality.
Yeah, but I will wear them for years and years and years and years. So
Yeah.
I would rather just have. I also will ruin other pants very quickly.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of wearing things, I did decide I'm going to start finding outfits on Pinterest and
Yeah.
dressing myself from my closet based on the outfits.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So stay tuned. Like recreating Pinterest. That's what.
Yes, that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
Okay,
So get ready.
that's gonna be cute. Are you gonna name them like different vibes?
I don't know. We'll get that. We'll
You
cross
should just.
that bridge.
What if you just start showing up in like different Carrie Bradshaw outfits? Because also that's so not like your usual style. So it would be
Yeah, like
really
a
fun.
tutu?
Like in each week, I just want you to walk in a new Carrie Bradshaw outfit.
Okay.
Lookalike.
I'll start doing it. You have to name which episode on
Oh,
Sex
I
and the
can do
City
it. Like
came
I can
from.
tell you which episode
Yeah.
to do the outfit from, and then you'll do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
No, I'm definitely doing
This
that.
would be a little series. Follow Honey We're Home.
I
on
feel like you
Insta.
might like the Samantha stuff better, but I just want to see the Carrie Bradshaw.
Yeah,
stuff.
like whatever slutty are all like better.
When I'm
Are you
pregnant,
calling
I'm
me a
only.
slut?
No, it's more menswear.
Oh, okay. I don't watch the show.
Rhyme to the reason. When I'm pregnant, I'm only dressing like Charlotte York. Only.
How
Like,
does she
because she
dress?
just wears these really, her pregnant style specifically.
Ooh.
Everything I link for pregnant people is always inspired by
You've
that.
been posting a lot of pregnant style.
No, I have crazy baby fever. It's sick.
But I know you're not pregnant.
No. I ordered wine last night that went to the top of a tumbler.
No.
It was really aggressive
The
and bad.
biggest pour of wine. Right
ever
after
seen
I
in my
say
life.
I want to like lay off the alk, Caroline hands me
I didn't
a
know.
chalice of wine.
She said small, medium, large. I'm at a Broadway show. Your large is minuscule. I didn't know that the large was more than half a bottle.
It was big.
Because she dumped it. There was nothing left in the bottle.
It was a big
She had to
thing of
open a
red
new
wine.
one.
And I can't drink that much red wine. I'll
No.
fall asleep.
No, yeah, you did say that. But not pregnant, but I have crazy baby fever. And I told John, and I'm like, it's such bad timing, but just letting you know. Because even little boys are like starting to like give me baby fever. And that is a new one for me.
See, I told you, you're destined to be a boy mom.
Stop saying it out loud.
You're destined. I mean, it's going to happen. The little boys are so funny. They're
Yes,
insane.
they're funny. They're so energetic. It's like, oh my God, can't we just
But,
go
like,
get a manicure? and call
They're
it a
so,
day?
my nephews are so fun to just
I
like
know.
play with and make laugh. Their laughs.
I know the
can't.
laugh is cute. Like, listen, it's a problem because now little boys are like starting to be like giving me baby fever too.
Yeah.
And that's never happened to me before. So I know this is going to be a hard spell to kick. But it's fine. The temperature will drop. My mom is on your page. She's like also somehow unknowingly manifesting a boy. She's decorating a nursery right now. So that doesn't help. Like for me.
Your mom, we need to have your mom on the pod.
She literally
That's insane.
is putting up all of this stuff. Like she got wallpaper for it and is like putting up the wallpaper and it's blue. And I was like, you're really not doing me any favors.
In what room? Her house?
The one that John and I sleep in. So I'm just
in
like,
her house. She's
you guys, long story short, neither John and I have bedrooms in our homes when we go home. Haven't for years. All of our
Same.
other siblings have bedrooms. We just don't. My sister, who still lives in Charleston but doesn't live at home anymore, finally, like when she moved out, we like had a room to sleep in. And now it's being turned into a nursery and I'm not even pregnant. Like, where am I going to sleep?
That's the ultimate move for in-laws and future grandparents, to like make you have a baby. Just literally start doing the
and to
nursery.
always have the baby there. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to always go home because I'm gonna be like, well, there's somewhere for the baby to sleep.
That is cute, though. I think that's
No, it's
really
exciting.
cute when grandmothers, or I guess mothers and mother-in-laws, get really excited about the baby and like get a crib and make a little nursery. Like,
Well-
Mike's mom has that in their house, and she like decorated it like safari theme. She's like, because you guys went on safari, but it's like Lauren's kid, my sister-in-law's kids sleep there now. But she's like, yours will, when it's
Wait,
just
that's
like a
cute
rotating
it's just
nursery.
thought about you too. Because I think I'm like the only person that's gonna get like a personalized nursery, and then everybody else is just gonna have to sleep there. But like, I'll be the first to have a baby, so it'll be like kind of tailored to like what me and my mom do together.
What would you do if one of your sisters had a baby before you?
Oh my god, I don't like to talk about that.
You would freak out.
No, it just makes me look so bad when I say, yes, I would freak out. I don't think I'm entitled to the first kid, but I do think like, I think the reason it would frustrate me is just because John and I have waited like to have a baby. And so there's a lot of excitement around it.
Would you be mad, Psycho?
No, I think it would depend on the circumstance.
Openly just calling you a psycho.
Would you be mad? I think it
Like,
would
if
depend
one
on
of
the
your, if
circumstances.
your younger sister, which one's right under you?
Yeah, if my sister, right? Oh my god, I'm sorry, Margaret. I love you so much, but she knows this. I've told her.
If she found the love of her life right now and got married quick and just had a quick timeline, and like maybe right before you got pregnant and had her for.
I think for her, that's what I'm saying. It's circumstantial. For her, she's been in a long time relationship. But like, if I felt like someone was racing me to have a baby, I would be like, why? Like, that would kind of annoy me. But if it just happened, obviously I'm not going to be upset about it. But then like with my sister right under me, I want her to like, she has like a new phase of life coming up, and I like want her to be able to enjoy it for as long as possible. So I'm kind of on the page where I'm like, wait to have a baby kind of thing.
Yeah, like for her own happiness.
Right. But then like if one of my sisters came home from college like pregnant, I'd be like, I mean, cool.
Yeah.
Like,
new baby.
I'm not worried. My mom is like super psychic and knows when everyone's getting married and when everyone's having a baby. And she knows that like my girl is coming first too. So I guess I'm not that stressed. But
I can't wait when
it's a boy.
Yeah.
Stop it. I hate you so much.
So that actually brings me to a good point. Brings up a good point that I wanted to discuss on here. As it pertains to family trips, I think this is way more common than we think. You have a unique perspective of being no kids right now, no nephews. Can I speak?
Yeah, like I'm the only person married and
right, and like
the siblings.
If everything goes to
significant
plan,
other, yeah,
if everything goes to plan, you'll be the first one with babies on the family trip.
Yeah.
Mike and I were the only couple on this trip. We even had our friends join us that had babies. We were the only child-free couple.
Yeah.
And it really, like, shout out to the other child-free couples out there that go on a family trip that's catered around young kids. Because it really is such a weird situation to be in. I mean, Mike and I were sitting in the kiddie pool majority of this time, simply because we wanted to be around my family and my nephews and my siblings and stuff and my dad and whatnot. But like, would we be in a kiddie pool if it were just us? No, we wouldn't.
Right.
So like, I don't know. It's just very weird. And like, you see that parents have to like go out of their way. My one nephew has to go to bed at a certain time, so they had to leave early or like whatever. It's just like crazy being in this phase of life where our trips are now catered around the kids. I'm not going to say it's less fun because we still, again, have so much fun. It's just so weird and definitely makes you want to have a baby. Like, so you can just like solely fit in. I don't know. It just was so. Oh, and the life hack that Mike and I like didn't even intentionally try to do. It's a long story. We ended up staying an extra night until Monday where it was just us two. And that was so good to like, after all the kids' time, we got a moment to ourselves to just be the two of us and have adult time. Like I was like, let's go to the adult only pool, like where kids aren't even allowed. I was like done with kids.
Yeah.
But
I feel like that's a great hack for everybody. And I had to learn that too. If you, just in general, if you are kind of out of place with everybody else's life stage on your family trip, tack something on to the beginning or end where it's just the two of you. Even if you are someone whose spouse like gets super overwhelmed on the trips or feels like there's no alone time or whatever it is, like that's a tip. Like we're doing London before we do Paris, and it's because it's our anniversary, but like it was very intentional to say let's do something by ourselves for 2 days before.
Brilliant.
And then go on the trip. And I feel like it is exactly to your point. There are certain things that you want to do on a vacation that you can't necessarily do when you're the only person in your family in your specific stage of life.
And you can do them, but if you do, you might be an asshole because you're ditching your family.
So I'm going to venture to say, like, can you really? Because you don't want to, like, get in an argument with your family about it or, like, whatever
and you don't
is.
want to, like, make them feel hurt.
No, and it's not that big of a deal. It's like in your control to have an extra night at the end or have a night at the beginning. Like one time, and this is how I learned this when we went to Moab last year, John like wanted to eat in the airport when we landed, even though my family had like made dinner and was like waiting for us. And I'm just like, what? Like, why do you want to eat in the airport? And he's like, I just want like a dinner that's just us two before we go into this like family trip. And he's like, if I had thought about it more, we would have stayed in Salt Lake City for the night and then gone to, or wherever we were. I forgot where we were. We were in Colorado. And then we would have gone like the next day. And so I feel like it's a good thing for everybody to do.
Yeah. Just like, I love that idea of just taking preferably more than one night.
Yeah.
Just tacking it on to the beginning or the end.
I agree.
That way you're not stepping away. And, like, easier said than done because the dog sitters, everybody costs money and it's hard to travel and get away. But if you can, do it.
I also think for you guys, like, you have to assimilate into, like, being a parent when you go on this trip.
Oh, that was a big thing.
Yeah.
I keep screaming at my siblings because I'm like, because of you fuckers. Sorry, I'm so vulgar today. Jesus. But I'm like, because of you guys on these trips, Mike and I are out here. We don't rest. I need a vacation from this vacation.
Yeah.
We are being Miss Fun Aunt and Uncle and going ham, just entertaining the siblings. My siblings throw their kids at us.
Somebody said that they wrote in and they were like being expected to be the
parent.
babysitter.
And that's what we are a little bit. Not with the younger one. Like Navi and Chris were really good with like JJ. But I mean, Cal and Jackson at this point just like want me and Mike more than their own parents because we're like a new fun thing. And which I love. Obviously, I would not have it any other way. But I do scream at my siblings because I'm like, I feel like I'm going to be burnt out. We're all going to be burnt out by the time we have kids. We're going to be burnt out from like being pseudo parents.
Yeah.
And you guys are going to be burnt out and not be fun aunt and uncle like we are with your kids because you have your own kids.
What would make that better? Like, would it be like getting a babysitter on vacation and having a siblings only night?
My sister has brought a babysitter before, and it honestly is so nice.
Yeah.
Like
because
for when we have weddings and stuff.
I guess I ask because like going into that, eventually I'll go into that phase of life, but I'll be the older sibling and I like want to know what to do to like make sure my other siblings are not also getting overwhelmed.
Good question. Honestly, yes. I need to be giving you advice like this.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I do think, you have 3 sisters. At least for a while, they're going to want, now I'm like contradicting myself. They are going to want to just like take your baby. And
well, because you miss your nephews all the time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. I have withdrawal. Like these days after not being with them, I'm like tweaking. I have literal withdrawals from like being around their smiles and laughs.
Right.
But the babysitter definitely helps.
Okay.
And also just like you do the annoying stuff with your kid and save the fun stuff for your siblings.
What is the annoying stuff?
Like change your kids' diapers.
Yeah.
I've never really had to change. If I've changed any one of my nephew's diapers, it's because I've been like, I want to practice. Like,
Okay.
and we do it as like a fun thing. Like, don't throw your babies at your siblings and be like, change their diaper, do their annoying bedtime routine. Like, save the fun stuff for them.
Okay.
But also you can do the fun stuff with your kids.
No,
too.
I like that. And I also think like the babysitter thing is probably great because we do, us not having kids but being with younger siblings, we just have to assimilate into a sibling ourselves. So that's why John and I always joke like, I'm like one of 4 on his side and he's one of 5 on my side. Like we become each other's siblings. And I'm sorry, I know that sounds so creepy, but like on vacations and at home we become each other's siblings. Like it's just all the siblings together because there is no like who's married and who's not married. It's just it's all kids and then one significant other. So what makes the most sense? Just that significant other to like have their place as their own sibling within that family dynamic. But because of that, we get to do fun stuff like sibling nights and like whatever. But I imagine it would still be helpful to be able to do that even after like there are kids, to have like adult nights.
Yeah, I love that idea. Honestly, like make one of the grandparents watch the kids so you can do a sibling night. Or if you have the funds, don't underestimate the power of bringing a
sitter
help along.
Yeah.
We've done that my sister's done that only if it's for a wedding and like we need somebody to physically watch the kids during the wedding and stuff.
Yeah.
Other than that.
But I think that's great that she does that because a lot of people actually don't. And that's a pet peeve of mine.
Yeah. But that's expensive. You have to, my sister somehow is
even
so
if a
rich.
wedding's in your own hometown, like people just like won't.
Yeah.
If like their baby can't go, they're not going.
I'm not a parent, so I can't be like, I wouldn't do that. But yeah, I mean, like we said on one of the past episodes, I feel like when I'm a parent, I'll use any chance I can get.
I think so too.
To get out.
Okay, so we have some hilarious icks from the audience. So I'm just going to read some of them and then we can get into our email. The first one, which I think is hilarious, is my husband unpacks the second we get home from a trip. # serial killer.
That's an all men thing.
No, John does not do that.
Oh. As I'm like, all men.
No, John does not. He will unpack before me most of the time, but it's because I will wait like a week. And he'll do it on like day 3. He's a day 3 guy.
I have a theory that if I had space, I would do it right away.
I've done it right away before only because I've had to repack to leave again. Like there's been no choice.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. It's just so much work. We don't even have room to unzip both of our suitcases at once.
That's the thing. Like I came home to a messy apartment half because I left it that way and half because Mike literally did not clean before he left.
Oh, John doesn't do that either. And it literally, I'm so sorry, John.
Just do it.
It drives me crazy.
Just fucking do it.
I will clean so hard before I leave. Why don't men care?
Mike made up some story. He was like, I tried to, but the vacuum filter needed to be. I go, no, the vacuum was clogged. I had to reach my claws into it, grab out hairballs to unclog it. I had to perform surgery on the fucking Dyson to get it unclogged. So I said, wasn't the filter, it was the clog. And you could have unclogged it.
Yeah. No,
vacuumed.
They will pretend to try for half a second because they know like you want it.
Yeah.
But the second something is not exactly how it should be, they're bowing out.
Yeah.
John doesn't do it either. It's so annoying. I need to come home to something clean.
Yeah. Big tip.
So when he leaves after me, I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
Clean.
I said clean. I walked in. I tripped on a hairball from Louis right when I walked in the door.
Oh, nothing gets you going.
The unpacking of it all, that's when like I have just, again, so much shit I got to get rid of. Like, I don't even have my clothes that weren't packed put fully away. So it just feels weird, like unpacking and shoving more clothes into my closet. Like, my suitcase is still sitting there.
You know what would be unserial killer of him is if he also unpacked for her. Like, if you're going to unpack the second you get home, then unpack for me too.
That would be really cute.
Like, that would be really nice. That would a little love language. I'm so happy that you enjoy unpacking quickly.
Yeah.
Here's a little gift and you can do it for me too.
Yeah. Mike does unpack quickly and he does it to beat me, just to like fuck with me.
No, John does too. Also, it takes men 5 seconds to unpack. When
Yeah.
my suitcase opens up and there are trinkets floating around everywhere,
Products.
it's not
skin.
getting done in 5 minutes. It's really not.
It's like a lot. And then you got the carry-on. Oh, it's a lot of stuff.
Okay, so the next one we have is sharing a bed with your sibling twin as adults.
This one made me laugh so
I
hard.
didn't feel like that was an ick.
Well, here's the ick. I think if it's same sex, if you have a twin sister or just a sister, fine.
Yeah.
Unless like we had to, I really don't see myself sharing a room with my
your brother.
30-year-old, soon to be 30-year-old brother anytime, or a bed. I mean, a room, yes. I stayed in my brother's room for the first 2 nights before Mike got there. And it was so much fun with the baby. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'm sharing a bed with my brother.
That's fair, but I'm looking at this as like same sex.
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, you
shower
guys
with
they already think that I'm actually so psycho, so I really am not doing myself any disservice at this point. But like when I go home, John sleeps in a bed in our room, and I sleep with my sisters half the night.
Really?
Yes. I'm like,
And they do, what about their significant others?
they're not. I mean,
They're not
sometimes my sister in college has her boyfriend sleep over, and then it's like, oh, okay, like
You're gonna be rocked when this all changes. You're not ready for it.
No. Well, as
So-
we've said, don't do well with change. So I will let you guys know when I'm having a mental breakdown, and I would politely ask you to give me my space and don't judge me.
You are such in a different phase than I am with the siblings.
It's crazy. But I told you before, I said being in this phase keeps you from having babies because you know that the thing that really is going to rock it is when you have the baby.
Your siblings need to catch up and get significant others.
They're 10 years younger than me.
Yeah, that's wild. I'm like,
But I've always
marry
been
off
like
the
this. When you have
Crawfords.
siblings that are super young, or I guess they're not super young, but like a lot younger than you definitely, someone has to assimilate to somebody else's phase of life. And like, I really cherish the phase of life they're in. And I want them to
you're
think that I'm with
assimilating.
them, that I'm not in this like separate area where I can't hang out with them. And so I work really hard at that. Like when I stayed with Sarah for a week in Paris last year at school, like I would go out with her every night. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, it's funny that your like 28-year-old sister is like going out to bars with you.
See, something for you to look forward to. I really think like I feel so fortunate to love both on Mike's side and my own. I just have more siblings than Mike. He has one. I have two, or I have five technically. Love them all.
Right.
But whatever. The older that are our age, I have two full siblings. And I love their significant others so much, debatably more than them. And it's grown our group, and it's so fun.
No,
like
we've
when the
talked about
six
this.
of us are together, it's so fun.
No, each
when-
addition should be an additional sibling. Like it should only add to the vibe. But that's what we have like with us and John, and like it's on John's side too. Like them and me is like I'm fully a sibling to his brothers, and he's fully a sibling to my sisters. So like I don't get icked by the like, oh, I just like climb in bed with my sisters, or like when we went to Moab last year for our family vacation, all the siblings shared a yurt. Not the siblings besides me and John. Like me and John and all three of my sisters are in a yurt together. And like, even though some might argue that that's bizarre, like we had the best time.
Yeah.
Like we're all sitting up at night laughing at John doing impressions of like London rappers, like thinking that he's like really good or whatever, and making jokes with each other. And like we can live together in the same space without needing, yes, you like need your space, of course, like eventually, but John and I are both good at being like, I'm going to sit by myself for a while, nobody bother me when I'm with his family and when he's with mine. But like I can say that to his siblings without them getting upset at me, and he can say that too. It's not like I don't know, sharing the bed thing, I'm like, okay,
Sharing the bed isn't an ick for us, but whatever.
I mean, I could see it, but I just like don't.
If you had a brother, it would be an ick though.
I just don't have boundaries. And John's siblings are a lot younger than him too, so we both just sort of operate on the same level. So maybe it's just depending on the person.
Yeah. I mean, I shower with my sister. Like,
yeah, exactly.
we're butt naked in front of each other constantly.
Right. Okay. Do you want to read this email?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Hey, Caroline and Nicole and team, I'm sure reads these emails first. Don't you wish?
I responded to her immediately, and I was like, this sent me.
One day we'll have a team for us. For now, it's just us. Okay, love the podcast. I wanted to write in for some advice. I'm really close to my husband's family, his parents, 2 siblings, grandma, etc. And we spend a lot of time visiting them out of state for holidays, etc. My mom and I are close, but she can be clingy as my sister is estranged from our family and my dad passed away a few years ago. My parents were divorced. So when it comes to close family, I'm all she has. My in-laws kindly invited my mom to their home for a few holidays now, and they are so kind to do so, but I feel my mom is high maintenance. But I feel my mom is high maintenance, and I end up embarrassed and a bit annoyed by her behavior. When I'm at my in-laws' house, everyone has their own lives, and we do nice family things together, but also have our time alone/apart. Because of this, it's easy for me to spend weeks with them and not feel overwhelmed. Meanwhile, when my mom is visiting us at my home or my in-laws, or even when we visit her, she wants to spend every waking moment with us, and she's smothering me, my husband, or even his family. She will interrupt my husband while he's relaxing, reading a book, constantly talking about her dietary needs. I've got them too, but it's not my whole personality, and always need all these extra accommodations. Instead of adapting to the situation. It's almost like having a little kid around that's constantly asking questions and needing to be fed. This email's so long, so just to summarize,
well, you can skip the next part, but basically what she's saying is that she doesn't know how to teach her mom not to overwhelm everyone with constant conversation. She wants to do another vacation, like a group trip with the families, but she doesn't know how to do it without ending up miserable. She's tried paying for a hotel room for her mom near the in-laws house, but she then just needed constant transportation back and forth because she wanted someone to drive her, not an Uber.
Right.
And this is the part that actually sent me. Once in a swimming pool, she followed me around as I swam laps and got sad when I told her my husband and I were going to the sauna on our own that only fit 2 people.
I know, that's what.
That was funny. She says she just wants to have a good relationship and be able to have big family get-togethers and trips.
Right. All in all, her mom is just very clingy during these trips and get-togethers.
I feel like the first thing to say, which also kind of summarizes other emails we got, which is, now that you and your husband are a family unit, how do you put that family unit first and then have boundaries with other family members? And how do you communicate those boundaries without being offensive, without causing them to get defensive, and in a way that makes you and your partner comfortable?
I really like that you said, now that you and your husband are married, you need to put that family unit first, because that's something that's so easy to forget, and it's like no shit,
on family
duh.
trips, yeah.
But especially around others and family and friends, it really is just a mindset shift. Like, you entered into this marriage, your husband is now like your priority family member. No matter how much you love your other family members, doesn't mean you need to shun them, but put him first.
I think it also it's not as aggressive as it sounds. That's something I struggled with for a while, being like, you don't have to shun your other family members, for that to happen. And B, it's not as easy as it sounds, because it is super nuanced with each side of the family, like how that looks. And it takes a long time to figure it out. And in her situation, she's having to balance how that looks on both sides of her family at one time. Mm-hmm. And it might be really discouraging for her when she and her husband have already figured it out on his side of the family. But now her mom is infiltrating the picture. And it's kind of like, I don't know, like everything goes to the wind at that point.
Yeah. When I first read this, I did really feel bad for the mom, because like she said in the beginning, everybody's died or divorced or whatever.
Yeah, I did too.
And like that is all she has. So like I do have a soft spot for the mom. And listen, she could be doing worse things. She could be mean.
Yeah.
This is her just wanting to be around you to an annoying extent. But at least she's just enthusiastic and nice and showing love. I think like this is her way of showing love, which kind of sucks because it is a lot and very overwhelming. And I would really just like, well, first I would think, is it just you? I'm not trying to gaslight her and tell her like she's wrong at all. I fully believe you and feel for you. But it might not be annoying your in-laws and your husband as much as you think. Like, she didn't mention, has she like asked them or talked to them? Not that she wants to talk to her in-laws about her mom, but I would gauge more from them. Like, is it just annoying you so much because it's your own mother? And like, are you kind of like thinking about it too much? Is it really annoying your in-laws that much? Or are they like, we don't care, we like having her around, whatever?
Yeah.
So gauge that. But also, if it is annoying you, that's totally fine. And that's enough justice to do something about it. I would just, try talking to her straight up and just, if she's your mother and she loves you, she hopefully will take it well, and just be like, Mom, I really just need to set some boundaries. Like, we do not have to be up each other's booty holes.
I know. Well, the first thing I thought, I was like, she needs a boyfriend.
Yeah, I did think. Like,
and I'm like, maybe
up.
you like aren't fully in control of that, but like, she, I think, needs companionship, which everybody needs companionship.
Yes.
And not to kind of like put your problem on somebody else, but it sounds like she's in a phase where she wants to set boundaries with everybody because she's actively trying to put her family unit, which is her and her husband, first now. So she's just less capable, and so is her husband, of giving companionship to people in the family that they previously did. Mm-hmm. And so the mom needs someone to keep her occupied. Like, there are certain things that help her get her independence, like rent a car for her when she like comes. So be like, you can drive yourself to do this, or like set her up on a date, or like whatever, or encourage her to go hang out with friends, or whatever that is. But also, I think there's a lot of power in establishing your own routines and then letting them adjust over time. Like, for example, John and I always go on a date night, just us two, whenever we go home to Charleston or to Atlanta. Mm-hmm. And at first, yes, is it like hard to find the time, and it's super weird because like everybody's all together like all the time. And then eventually it just becomes very normal. Like, things take time to adjust to. Yeah. So it's like, if you choose the things that you want to do, like you want to sit in the sauna with your husband, or like you want to do the pool by yourself, or you want to do this, sometimes you just have to like brave through the like, awkward. I know this is upsetting you, but I'm going to do it anyways. Yeah. For a few times. And then eventually it becomes accepted.
Yeah. I fully agree with that. I think if you just like make a point to stand strong and hold firm and verbalize things, and for every like time you're like, okay, me and my husband are doing this dinner together on this night, be like, but like, tell your clingy mom and be like, but we were thinking the next night the three of us, or however many of us, can do a game night or whatever the fuck she wants to do, or do something you want to do together. So that way in her mind you're saying like, we are going to do this together, just us, and then we're going to do this with just you. So it's like pre-communicated.
Be in charge of the plans. Yeah. And I get it that that's not the way that it works on her husband's side of the family. Like, they all feel free to like take their space when they need it and do stuff together when they want to. But she probably needs the promise that there's going to be quality time together, so that she doesn't always feel like she's in danger of that being taken away from her if she's not in that moment clingy. Right.
Like, she seems like you can't just like go with the flow and like do it naturally. You have to literally schedule and tell and promise.
You do. And so she knows it's coming, and then you feel free maybe to do your own thing a little bit more. The other thing, and I feel like this might be controversial, but don't be scared to kind of like bring your partner into the equation. Like, it's okay sometimes to like not blame your partner, but to kind of like John and I have an agreement where sometimes it's like, yeah, I'm putting this one on you, but I'm happy to take it. Like, say it's a clingy parent, and every excuse that you give her, she's going to blow past in terms of why you can't hang out with her in that moment. If she says, he really wants a date night, the two of us, like, what is your mom going to say?
Oh, put it on the husband.
Put it on the husband. Yeah, like, you also want the date night. Yes, but she's your mom, and she's going to blow past every reasoning you give her. What if you say he wants a date night?
Yeah, I love that. I'm a big proponent of a little white lie, a little blame game to get what you want.
Right. Like, it just, I mean, as long as your partner is like cool with that and it's not jading her opinion of your partner, I feel like that's okay too. Also, sometimes you might be actually expressing something like that they need. And Yeah.
She's less likely to argue with him than argue with you. So it's smart.
I think what's really difficult, and sometimes I feel like actually it's more common that men go through this with their moms, that the moms are looking for some type of companionship or emotional support from their sons that now, you know, their sons should be giving to their wives and arguably never should have been giving to their moms in the first place.
Yeah.
You see that dynamic a little bit more often than like mother and daughter, but it obviously doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you're enabling somebody when you continue to give them something that you know they shouldn't even be looking for from you in the first place.
Right. Right. Like in this whole situation, I did think the whole time, I'm like, oh gosh, this poor girl writing in, like she's still the kid and having to deal with like things that parents shouldn't be doing. Like, I don't know. I just feel like that's yeah, like you have to keep in mind, you're still the baby.
I mean, it's a good, yeah, you're still the kid, be the kid, have the boundaries, but also a good thing for like therapy to talk through, because it is a good reminder that it's obviously not just a dynamic that's like mothers and sons. Like it can be mothers and daughters too.
Totally. But I do think, I agree, the mothers and sons is definitely bigger. And that's one reason I really, and I think everybody listening, we should all really work to like really strengthen our own relationships so that the day when we do have sons or kids, when you have your 5 sons, we're not going to them looking for that companionship because we're not getting it from our husband.
Exactly. That's a huge goal of mine in life and in my relationship and in parenthood, and I express it to John all the time. And I think for her, like, she might find solace in maybe sharing that experience with someone who's already had it, like what worked for you setting those boundaries and establishing this family unit, and how do you feel like you enabling them to continue to look for companionship in you is keeping them from growing.
Yeah.
Like you're maybe doing them a disservice because you're keeping them back or you're holding them back from even having like the autonomy to grow on their own. Like she really does need to go find that joy and fulfillment elsewhere.
Yeah.
And so that's a super tough transition and not one you should necessarily be in the first place. But we do hear it a lot.
That's true. Like find the fulfillment, whether it's setting her up with a boy, like back like to the email to that, like setting her up with a boyfriend, or like, I don't know, maybe she really loves pottery, and when you are all together, you found a really good pottery studio and be like, listen, we got you this session. Go use it on your own.
Like, I was just thinking, like, arm her with independence.
Yeah.
Like, you've got to do everything you can to help her be as independent as she possibly can be. And then your family units will, like, start to work together more. Like, she's not in her own home. She's in somebody else's home. She doesn't have a car. She's not comfortable. You're the most familiar thing to her. She's going to follow you around.
Right.
Like, you have had the privilege of getting comfortable at your in-laws' house over the years. You know your place with them. You know what to do. You know where you can go to be alone. You have your own tasks. You have all these things. She doesn't. So, like, help her get there so she can have her own little life, too. And then you don't feel like she's just in yours 24/7.
Bingo, baby.
That's good. I like that email, though. I think it's a really good one. I think that we'll end this episode by giving our turn-on of the week.
Woo!
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, Mike's, again, been literally gone, so I haven't seen him this week to have a turn-on, but I guess my turn-on of the week would be, I'm just proud of him for, like, work and stuff. He's, like, killing it. And I love how, like, I'm the one manifesting, like, being required to go to LA for work and, like, you know, being jetted off, paid for to go to LA when it, like,
and it's
happening for Mike.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? And he didn't even ask for this. I did.
Yeah, but you guys are one, so maybe you accidentally manifested it for him.
Girl boss too close to the sun again. I always... manifestation people out there, please, can we have somebody on the pod teach me how to properly manifest, because I always manifest the wrong. It's like slightly off, but like you can tell I manifested it, but it's always like slightly off. Like for this, I manifested it for Mike on accident.
We'll get a girlie on here to teach us.
Yeah.
That would be a nice little lesson.
But I will say he's been really busy out there. He's out there for a conference, so it's a lot of schmoozing and grooving. sounds weird. Slutty. I said these conferences are slutty. You can't be slutty on them.
The sales conferences.
Yeah.
I've heard they're slutty too.
Yeah. It's a thing on TikTok.
Sales girls.
No, sales girls are like hot and fun.
Aren't sales girls like the hottest? I always think of Megan Fox on New Girl when I think of the sales girl.
I've never
like the conferences. You've never watched New Girl?
No, I like watched.
Oh my god, I just like can't. Okay.
No, but yeah, the sales girls are hot, rich, and outgoing. And
they have
funny.
perfect Botox.
Yeah.
Perfect hair. Perfect cheekbones. Perfect skin.
Sales girls are the girls you need to worry about.
Yeah, they are. I mean,
fuck.
They're hot.
I'm sweating. Oh my god. No, he would never. But still,
no,
like,
don't freak out.
Watch your man. A sales girl is coming for him. Really?
Don't let those sales girls get close.
Oh my god, those sales girls, they'll come for you.
Like I feel like the sales girls were like recruited, plucked out of college senior year because they were like hot bitch.
Hot. They're not only hot though, it's like, no offense to model. You know how like some models are just like hot with dud personalities?
No, sales girls are smart and hot. That's
smart, hot, and very
what's
good.
the triple threat?
Like personable.
Great social skills.
And persistent.
Charming.
Oh my god.
Stop it. They're smart, hot, and charming.
Quaking. They're charming.
They're charming. Wait, there are definitely sales girls listening that are like, fuck you guys. But like, obviously that's the highest compliment.
Well, and they're rich. They make good money, so they have nice things.
Yeah, they're financially independent.
Oh my god. Fuck you,
they
sales
are
girls.
Mom, I Am a Rich Man.
Any sales girls out there?
No, for sure, you guys.
Like, oh, I'm sweating. Okay.
No.
Anyways, contrary to all the sales girls out there macking on my husband right now, he has been good at just like checking in and good at the long distance communications, which is making me realize the more he has to travel for work, I'll be fine. And like when I travel, I'll try to be
the one good thing about putting your life out online is that like nothing can really go wrong without somebody like telling you.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's the thing. Is like, you would always find out about something.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I've got eyes everywhere.
Yeah, you have eyes everywhere. Not that there's something you need to have eyes on.
Yeah.
But sometimes I, like, think about that, and I'm like, what a benefit. Eyes everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I could really find anything out, like, about anybody. Like,
especially in a big coastal hub.
I could sleuth on a friend's ex so quickly.
Oh, yeah.
So quickly. You know what I mean? 6 degrees of separation.
I've got eyes.
Eyes everywhere.
Okay, you go.
Okay. My turn on of the week is walks with John. And I only say that because he's not, he doesn't like to walk without a destination.
Oh.
It's so bizarre.
You guys do walk a lot.
I walk a lot.
Yeah.
Getting John to walk with me is like hard because he's like, where are we going?
Well, now you need him to walk with you.
Yeah.
Because
Nikki thinks she's going to get punched in the face.
Girls are getting punched in the face in New York City.
I am prepared. Not in a terrible way, but yes. Like, you know what? If it happens, I'm ready for it. Like, part of me is just like, I'm braced.
This is sad. A sad world we live in. Yeah. Caroline's like ready to be punched in the face.
Everywhere, because every single video of where it has happened is places that I am at multiple times a week. Getting off the 1 train at Times Square. See you there.
It's either Times Square or like
see you there.
Nolita, and that's the 2 places you and I always are.
This is not it's terrible that it's happening, so I'm not justifying that at all. But I've been braced for quite some time because a while ago there was some woman that hung out at the West 4th Street station, and she just like punched people on the stairs. Like, she was known for being the West 4th Street puncher.
That's the worst stop in New York.
And I don't like to go to West 4th Street. But I had to get off there last night after the show. And I was like, girl, if you get punched, just keep walking. So I did have my head on a swivel. But I have at this point braced myself for the punch. I'm just hoping it doesn't, like, break anything.
Well,
I mean, if it breaks my nose, I could get a nose job out of it.
That's a good way to look at it.
It's nice, right?
Or if you get a goose egg on your forehead, that's a reason to get some Botox.
Yeah. I mean, silver lining.
We suck.
We suck. Canceled. Okay, but walks with John, they have increasingly gotten better. Like, after church last week, he was like, do you want to go on a walk in Central Park? He usually doesn't like stuff like that. Or like last Saturday, we walked like 5 miles in the morning and like went to the farmer's market. And like that stuff I already like to do on my own. So he's like transitioning into like a little walker boy. And so it's my turn on of the week because I'm really enjoying it. Like he wants to start walking home from work together a lot, like down the West Side Highway during the summer, so we can like have our catch up time and like day debriefs.
Walks build intimacy.
Yeah, that's what got him on it. So I had to switch from the like, no, we have nowhere to go, we're just going on a walk, to be like, look at all the good things that come from walks.
Yeah.
So
I love that. I have to pee.
Okay. You guys, we're going to wrap up this episode, but we love you so much. We will see you next week. Thank you so much for tuning in. Rate, review, and subscribe if you have a moment. And you can follow us at Honey We're Home Pod on Instagram. And always email us at honeywe'rehomepodcast@gmail.com. We love putting the emails in our episodes. It is so much fun. It's a highlight of our week. If you have big stories, let us know there, or even topics. Other than that, we will see you guys next week. And we love you.
Mwah.